Hello, my name is Frank John Burkhardt Jr. I'm the owner of Burkhardt Nurseries in Pasadena, California. And today I'm going to give you tips on how to garden in pots on your deck. Now, some of the things you need to know is when you're doing a deck, depending upon space-wise, you may want to do something a little bit more unusual. You may want to do something a little bit normal. You may want to try something hardy, something maybe a little not hardy. And depending upon where your location's at in the United States, in California, we can grow a lot of this, but we do get frost occasionally too, so we have to protect some of our plant material, such as this is a blue ginger. And this is a shade grower, so I know I'm going to plant it in a container in the shade, protected from frost. Then we have ivy geraniums, which you see all over the United States. They grow these in New York, and they use it as annual color. During the winter, they just throw them away. Then there's other plant materials, such as this really nice little patio tree, dwarf olive, fairly hardy, can grow throughout many different situations. And so basically when you're choosing plant material, you've got to make sure you use plant material that you can use in your right location. Azaleas are pretty cold hardy, but in other areas they freeze and die. This is a thuya. This is very hardy. This is different citrus trees. A lot of people actually use these as houseplants. You can use them during the summer. I see this all the time in Boston, New York, where they grow them in patios during the warmer months, and during the cold they bring them inside to protect them from the frost. Then you've got to also know in your decking, do you have shade? Do you have sun? This is a type of butcher broom called a ruscus, and this will grow in deep dark shade, very little water. This beautiful variegated plant is called a Metrosideros, and it has a kind of a red, almost bottle brush flower. This vine, a lot of times you'll need some height out there. We use a variegated Pandorea jasmine. So what you do is you pick and choose on what you're going to grow. After you've decided you're going to use a good potting soil as a general rule of thumb, something that drains well, on containers, you can use things such as pot feet to raise them up. You can use old-fashioned bricks to raise them up. You can use plastic header board where you cut it, you raise it up. And basically what you want to do is raise up your pots so they're not touching on the concrete, the wood decking, because you want to be able to breathe and drain well. Another thing what you want to consider too is on watering, you don't want to overwater your plants. So again, the simple method of using your finger, putting it in, feeling if it's dry, if it's wet. It's always better to err on the dry side. Don't overwater your plant material. By raising up the pots, it will drain better, and there's less chance of overwatering. I'm Frank Burkhardt, Burkhardt Nurseries, Pasadena, and I want to thank you for letting you have tips on how to garden in pots on your deck.